So I get there's a little bit of energy about what's going to happen this year, 2016, right? Yep. How many people were when 2016 hit? Next day, and you're covering from the hangover of whatever you were doing. You actually had the opportunity to say to yourself, "Oh, I got to do it all again." Nobody in the room went there. Awesome. You guys are way too positive. The thing that's interesting about moving from year to year, what we've discovered in our company is that it takes a little bit of something different to make it different. That was really profound, wasn't it? That's what you get from me, really simple stuff. And if you get into the routine of doing everything over again the same way that we started, you get the same thing. Right. It's the definition of insanity, Really, trying to do the same thing again and hoping it changes. So what we're going to cover today is something slightly different. Today's talk is called Be Bold. Be Bold. 5 strategies for increasing or really amplifying your life and your business. And I'm going to give you some simple things. We're going to actually do a little bit of coaching so you can write some notes, have some fun, and we're going to be here 2.5, 3 hours. Right? How much trouble can I get into in that much time, right? All right. So we're going to do this. We're going to have some fun. But I want to tell you about the journey.
For the new folks, he was kidding.
Not necessarily. Yeah, sometimes you get me talking, I can't stop. It's okay. So I want to start off with some simple thoughts. Because when I started the Be Bold concept in my mind, we're going to put a whole program together. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, and everybody can get involved, and it's going to be exciting. But I want to talk today about the journey of bold, because when I started to look at what bold was, I did some what I would call research, right? And I spent hours researching bold. And here's bold in the dictionary. A person, action, or idea showing an ability to take risks, confident, and courageous. Now, that's where I started, confident and courageous. From there, I went into, oh my goodness, what does that all mean? Looked at all the different things, and I discovered some interesting things I'm going to share today. It's awesome. Interesting. Did you know that the journey of bold is really about how you deal with fear? Think about that for a minute. Right? Because when you say somebody's bold, it's got something to do with fear, right? It's got something to do with their awareness of risk. It's got something to do with emotion. Bold is a journey in fear. It's about the techniques we use. So let's talk about that today, because that's really exciting to me. We first start off on our journey to bold, and we say that we're confident. We are confident. First step of being bold. Hey, yeah, I'm confident I'm going to go into business for myself. Woohoo! Right? You have no idea what risks are coming. You have no idea what the trench will look like. And you're just excited. And you're really unaware. It's kind of an innocence, right? Confidence. Confidence. It's interesting to know that confidence is where we start. How many people have been confident before? Right? It's that feeling of, yeah, I think I can do that. I saw somebody else do that. That's easy. Right? I've done that a few times in my life, tried to do different things. Looked easy at the time, and then when I started doing it, it was a way different scenario, right? Confidence, where we start off. Unaware, unknowledgeable, not really a lot of emotion behind it. And when we start off in confidence, it's really not that hard. We don't have to have a whole bunch of internal skills to manage our emotions, because it's all good. We're not stressed out. It's fun. Right? When you started your business, were you excited? Say yes. Yeah. Okay? Were you confident, that you could do something good because maybe you had some great skills? Yes? Yes. Right? And then what happened? Reality check, right? No, actually what happened was, you certainly run into some stuff, but everything changed, and you now have to become courageous. You have to become courageous. Why? Because in the moment when you start to realize what you're running into, you are now aware of risk. You are now aware of your fear. We call them freak out moments. High tech, right? It's when you're in your house and you're going, right? When you suddenly realize that there's no more finances, that people don't really just want to buy your goods and services just because you're really great at what you do, and that you might have to learn how to do that SE word, the S word that's 4 letters and it says sales, right? Yeah, most people would rather die than do sales, right? Mary's laughing in the back. It's true though, right? Because it's kind of like public speaking. The biggest fear we've got is public speaking. Why? Well, they say that, if, most people have such a fear about public speaking, they'd rather be in the coffin than doing the eulogy. Right? You do both. It's awesome. So, it takes courage to know what you're up against and know what you're going to go through and to know how much it's going to hurt and to know the pain that you're going to be in. And you have to make a decision, notice the word I'm using, decision, to actually take that on, right? If you've ever been in business before and you started a new business, you were kind of aware of what you were going to go through, but it's still a journey, right? How many people are what I call repeat offenders? When you started your second venture, or your not the third, but the second venture, didn't you have a kind of a clue that you were going to go through some stress? Right? But you had felt a little bit more courageous and confident, right? Because you knew the journey. You knew it wasn't going to be easy, but you decided to take it on anyway. Right? I tell people, I've been married more than once, got to tell you. Second time around, you kind of go, oh, know what I'm in for. Really? Have no idea why it happened this way, right? You'll learn. That's courageous, right? And there's a lot of times that we get the words mixed up. And we get courageous, bold, we get courageous and all kinds of different wording for bold. But the fact of the matter is, if you know the risk that you're going to take and you feel the emotion and you start to learn to manage that emotion, you're now courageous. How many people had a courageous moment recently? Right? The MasterCard is coming down. Right? It's in the mail. Right? Or something happened, when you had to make a decision mentally to turn around and not allow yourself to respond to the feelings that you were having. Maybe it's that client that said, can you lower your price? Right? Never happens to anybody else in this room, right? Or why should I choose you? And they say it like that too. You. Right? That's courageous when you stand there and say, the reason I'm going to be able to do a great job for you is this. That's courageous because you know the risk, you know what you're going through, and you're now courageous. After courageous, what comes? Getting close. You guys are cheating. Cooking. No? What? Well, getting there. Brave. Why? Well, because when you're brave, you are aware of the feeling of fear, but you have managed it to such a high level that you really don't physically respond to fear. So, somebody jumping into a burning building. Somebody on the street going in, saving their family. Are they confident, courageous, or brave? Brave. Wrong. Say again. Wrong. Say again. They know what they're going into. They know they may not survive, but they are so motivated by emotion that they have to be courageous. The firefighter that goes in, who's had enormous amount of training, manages his emotion or her emotion and understands the risks that they're going into, and they are brave. Because they take the risk anyway. They don't have the freak out moments because they've learned to manage the freak out moments by extenuous training and exposing themselves to the conditions. Does that make sense? Right? See how we get the words all messed up? Right? How many people have had a brave moment this last year? Probably. You'll know when you have one because you know you should be fearful and filled with fear, or you should be shaking your head going, I know I shouldn't be doing this, and you do it anyway. And you don't bother to take the time to be scared. Right? It's like when you're at the edge of the plane door and the door is open and you got the parachute on and you say to yourself, oh, it's okay, I'm just going to take one step. It's a mental conditioning that doesn't allow your body to respond to the thoughts of fear. Because once you think something fearful, your body will respond. What's the feeling of fear, by the way? Fear feels how? Say some words.
Heart pounds.
Heart pounds, then what? Sweating. Anxiety. Right? Rapid chest, yeah, what?
Gagless.
Gagless nights, gagging nights. What happens is your body goes into fight or flight, and your focus will actually zero down. And you'll actually be pumping adrenaline through your system, and it's a physical condition. Your body doesn't know the difference between something that you fear and something that's real when it comes to danger. Did you know that? How exciting is that to know that you can have a complete freak out because you think there's a monster under your bed when you're a kid versus somebody that's breaking in through the door, and your body will not know the difference. And in your business, you're sitting at your desk, and if you fear you're going to lose the client, does anybody else do that? Okay, good. We're in the right room. If you fear you're going to lose the client, guess what happens?
You will.
Yes, because you make it happen. As you focus, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but as you focus in on something, you create that existence, right? So it's really important to understand that you need to manage so you can be brave enough to do what's the right thing. Okay? So bravery. What's our next one? What's the last one? Can't cheat. After you're brave, you're what? Getting close. Getting close. What's that? Thought we had a good one. Stupid. Well, you can seem stupid to other people, I would agree, yeah. You get fearless, right? Fearless is lacking fear. You now are at the mental state where you don't even associate the fear. You won't allow yourself to go there. Right? You look at your financials sometimes and the financials kind of suck, and then you have a well-meaning spouse that might say what to you? What's that? Get a real job. They don't say just get a job. They get a real job, right? Anybody ever heard that? Say yes. And you will have to be courageous, and you'll have to be brave. You may even be fearless. But when you get to the place where failure is no longer an option, you can't entertain it anymore, you're fearless. You don't feel the pain. Your body doesn't go through the pain. You just go and do the action, okay? In the military, they train people to be fearless, at a high level. So if you go to the high-end, military organizations, Navy SEALs and stuff, they train them to be fearless. They do. They try and get them to the place where they don't think about the risks that they're going to go through, because once they start to entertain the risk, they can't do their job. Focus change means that I'm going to focus in on my fear, so therefore I can't focus in on doing my job. Right? So fearless is a decision on focus. It's not that any of the risk has changed through this whole process. It's just how you're processing it. So how are your skills at processing your emotion? How are we doing? When you're having a freak out moment, do you catch yourself before, after, or during? Yeah, a little bit of everything, right? Because we're human beings. It's a real journey. When you have positive psychology and you don't use it, what are you doing? Feeling foolish. Right? But we get into patterns of thinking that we allow ourselves to go into, and then we choose to go down this path instead of that one. Right? If you want to have a bold 2016, you're going to have to master a few things, right? I want you to know the journey, because the journey is really all that we have. 2016 is going to be a great year, and you just get to decide how you're going to play the game. Now, what are we going to do with all of that for bold? Well, let me give you a couple things. Although it is bold for a husband to say to his loving wife that she looks fat in that dress. That's just stupid. Right? So being bold, okay, is not one of those things where we think that we go out and we tell somebody what they need to hear. Being bold is an internal thing. Being bold enough to stand your ground. Being bold enough to ask for what you need in relationships. Being bold enough to actually ask for what you need in your business and get the resources. Being bold enough to decide what you're going to do in your business is the thing that's going to be important for you this year. Right? Because there's lots of different stories that we can talk about being bold. But in the process of all that, we have to manage fear. And we want to make sure we go through that. Now, let's talk about a few of those 5 lovely things. And I'm going to do some doodling on the wall. There we go. On the wall there. Number 1, strategies. Okay. Number 1. I put this one down here for a reason. One of the top strategies that you will need to live a fantastic life this year and be bold is a defined and bold dream. Something that inspires emotion in you that you can get your whole body, brain, and heart around. It needs to inspire you. Why? Because the going's going to get tough. And if you don't have a dream that's big enough, it will get squished in no time. There are lots of lovely people around you that would love to help you steal your dream, but no, they're not stealing your dream. You're just probably going to give it to them. And you're going to relax and go back to the old way. So if you're going to fight back, you have to have a big dream. So, you got a piece of pen and a piece of paper, piece of pen. What's a big dream? What's a big dream?
Own a house.
Own a house. Could be. Yep.
Have the world find my name on the website.
Find your name on the website, right? Be able to be found. That's a dream that's quantifiable. But a big dream, I'm thinking more of something else.
Write a book millions of kids will read.
Right. For what purpose?
What do you mean for what purpose?
Why would you write the book?
So a million kids will read it and it'll make a difference in their lives.
Bingo, right there. That's it.
Yeah.
So it'll make a difference in their life and get them reading something that'll get them on the journey of reading, right? Your big dream has to be attached to something that's got some juice around it for you, right? You have something inside of you right now that's already telling you what you want to do, but to set a goal is one thing. To set a big dream is something that you can't actually achieve all by yourself usually, right? So I have a big dream. It's probably not going to be accomplished this year. I have a vision for our company that's huge, not just, 2 or 3 locations. But I'll take steps this year towards that, and that'll make me inspired to move forward on that. So your big dream has to be ostentatious. The kind that you wouldn't want anybody else to read because it would be so crazy. Right? How many people have a dream that's that big that they wouldn't want somebody else to see? Right? That crazy. That if you turned around and, you had the choice of being successful economically or turning around and fulfilling the dream, you'd fulfill your dream. Right? That's what you have to do. And by the way, dream building is a skill set. Dream building is a very big skill set that you have to master. How do you do that? What's the technical skills for that? Got to have some ideas, got to get some information. Absolutely. What else?
Imagination.
Imagination. Imagination is actually something we did as kids. I was accused of being in Fantasyland most of my life when I was a kid. But it was great training for being good at dreaming big. It's taking the time to slow down from your day-to-day and actually spending 15 to 20 minutes where you're actually concentrating on your dream, dreaming about what it could be. Getting yourself a life journal, figuring out what's important, starting to write it down, starting to draw it all out, starting to believe that it's possible, starting to understand who you are in the dream, what your role is, who are the partners, who are the players. Understanding your dream is a big thing. How many people take an hour for themselves a week where they're spending on dreams and goals and where your business and life is going, right? Yeah. Include that in there. Include that in there. Because the more times you dream on it, the bigger the dream gets. Number 1. So that's part of what we have to do. Number 2. Ironclad confidence. Ironclad confidence. Why did it put down ironclad confidence?
Because you cannot be swayed by any negative influence. You must not be.
Right. When you're building your life, you're going to have all kinds of influences. Some which will take you in your direction, some will take you away from your direction. And if you don't have an ironclad confidence in what you're doing, you will be re-questioning yourself every time somebody says something to you. So you have to be boldly crazy about what you're doing, and not that you won't listen to others, but you don't let it in and let them take it away. How do you do that? How do you get your self-confidence level? Affirmations may do it. Yes, what else? Psychiatrist. You work on your own personal psychology. Absolutely, right? Self-talk, yes?
Stay focused.
Stay focused. We're going to get the focus for sure, yes? Practice. What do you mean by practice?
Little bits every day.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. Yeah.
Write down a plan and figure out how to do it.
Yes, because that will actually give you the steps to do it. It's a little bit easier to bite into, right? Action. Action does build your confidence. But in the moment that you're up against heavy-duty stress and you're looking at your stress, what do you need then?
A mission statement.
Mission statement would be good. It probably won't do anything when you're in the trench, though.
You need that dream that you originally started with.
You have to have a good dream. I encourage folks in a very concrete way to write down 50 things that they have accomplished in their lives, be them big or small. 50 different things. Have a list of a minimum of 50 that you've accomplished and done really well with.
Does that include parenthood?
Parenthood, yep. I learned how to drive a car. I learned how to, I had one full year without a crash. You know, whatever it is to you, there's nothing too small, nothing too big. Now, why do you need that list? It's your list that you pull out when you are in boohoo mode.
Kitty party for one?
Yeah, pity party, party for one. Table 3. Because you will have that. And you will forget who you really are in that moment. And you need to remind yourself that you did great things all the way up this journey to get to where you're at. Because you will forget in the moment when you're looking at that immediate time, that immediate space, the thing that you're doing in the moment. Right? Because your focus will be off your history and onto your future, but your present gets in the way and you lose all context and you're in the mix, the muck, and whatever. So you want to know that that simple list can remind you when you're having a down moment. It can help you keep going, and it can keep your ironclad confidence there. Right? Another simple step would be get people around you that are willing to tell you exactly when you're doing the boo-hoo that you need to bend over. Right?
Yep.
And not the people that are nice enough that they won't turn around and tell you the truth. The ones that are going to say, your attitude sucks, it stinks, change it or I'm going to slap you. Find somebody that cares enough to tell you the bold truth, right? And give them full permission to let you know. Well, that's a lie. That sucks. That's garbage, right? And you need people in your life to do that, because good friends have a hard time saying that to people because they're worried about their emotion. But you need that for your ironclad confidence, right? Number 3. Determination. I know there's a lot to be said about determination. And you know when you bumped into somebody who's really determined to create great results in their life, because they have that kind of edge to them, right? And they are focused on where they're going. And on the journey to being focused, there are a lot of distractions. So what I'm going to ask of you to do is to write down a list of everything that you're tolerating in your life. Tolerations are allowable distractions. We allow ourselves to be distracted with tolerations, the things that we tolerate. That could be, I tolerate this individual who speaks negative into my life all the time. I tolerate my bad behavior about showing up late all the time. I tolerate my continual journey down the self-pity thing and spending all the time doing that. I tolerate my story that I won't want to get help, or I can't get help because I'm too far gone. Or I tolerate the fact that I think I'm too smart for everybody else.
Yeah.
Thump. Did that hit a little bit? We all have tolerations, every single one of us. And there's reasons for those. But usually wrapped around our tolerations is our excuses for failure, not our reasons for success. I don't want to hurt so-and-so's feeling. I don't want to hurt my feeling. I don't want to deal with that right now. So what are you tolerating? Write down the top 2 things, don't show anybody. What are you tolerating in your life? What distraction are you allowing in your life for the novelty of keeping you off course? I'm speaking from experience, folks. This is not me pointing at you. This is us going down a journey.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is toleration the same as distraction?
They are slightly different. They actually work. Distractions can be all over the place, and you can choose to look at them or not. Frequently, tolerations are a distraction, and we use them as distractions so we can keep off course. Because we're not ready for, well, yeah, we call them excuses. We got all kinds of brands for them, but they're all tolerations. I don't have this. I tolerate that I don't have this. Say those words. I tolerate that I put up with this lousy relationship. I tolerate that I do this. I tolerate that I do that. Take some ownership. It's ownership is what it is in your own personal life. If you're whining and somebody catches you, then you have to honestly say, I tolerate this. My clients didn't buy.
Is it something that you will then have to change, or is it just a recognition?
The first step is recognition. If you're tolerating it, it probably is, taking away from your greatness, and it's your choice. Coaching 101. Yeah, I hated my facilitator when we started talking about coaching tolerations too. But tolerations have a purpose because they keep us safe over here. And the goal here is for you to actually know what your tolerations are, because if you don't really acknowledge them, then you're wandering around on autopilot and you're kind of wondering why you can't succeed. It's just tolerations. Why do you keep bad clients? Why are you tolerating people that abuse you? Say yay. We've all had those. Why do we tolerate bad clients? Because I need their money and I like to be treated like garbage. Oh, you don't usually say the last part, do you? Right? But that's it. So tolerations, write them down. And then you have to look at it every day for the next 30 days. I want you to look at it, read it out loud. And if that doesn't make you throw up, phone me. I will help you. Yeah, because you know what? It's keeping you away from everything you could be. And you have something to do in your life. If you're just going to go and coast in your life and stay in mediocrity, take all the tolerations you can handle, whine as much as you want to, complain and get yourself wrapped around a whole bunch of people that are going to soothe you, keep you stuck where you're at. It's just a lousy way to live, because you will wake up one day realizing you've wasted time. And time's the only thing we don't have any control over in this life. Someday I'm going to wake up, I'm going to be 1 year older. Someday I'm going to wake up and be dead. No, someday I'll be waking up and enjoying my life the way I saw it happening in that day. See, every day I wake up, I choose to enjoy my life. I don't worry about retirement because my plan is to just enjoy it all the way. I'll be busy, right? I think retirement's overrated, actually. Determination, not for any of you those are planning to retire, like I'm okay with that. I know your financial planners get freaked out when I say retirement sucks. But it's the concept of actually building up so much money that you can actually just lie around and do nothing, because what's happening is your brain that has been productive to produce the money will have nothing to do now. Right? And I learned that a long time ago. Yeah, so we just don't want to do that. Number 4, this is the big one. So we've had a couple people already throw up, it's awesome. Master your fear. What are you scared of? What's the one thing that you refuse to do, won't do, can't do, make up all kinds of excuses, think about doing, and just really want to go right over the edge and say, I'll never do that? You don't want to even admit it out loud, right? Well, give me some examples of what other people might be experiencing for those types of fears.
Doing a YouTube video.
YouTube video, yes. What else?
Cold calling.
Cold calling, of course, yes.
Public speaking.
Public speaking, yes.
The word no, rejection.
Rejection, oh yeah.
I have a big one, going to doctors and telling them what I actually do that would actually help.
Standing for what you know to be true, yes.
Success. Some people are afraid of succeeding.
Yeah, most of us have some kind of edge there, and it's really bigger, probably not that big, it's usually narrowed down to some little component of that, for sure, yes?
I'm afraid of being challenged on what I believe.
Oh, interesting. Yep, being put to task, yes?
Ask for the sale.
Asking for the sale. These sound familiar? Everybody got these, right? The key thing here is that you have a skill that you need to develop, and it's based around your fear. There is something really empowering when you conquer a fear that releases energy in your life. If you've ever seen somebody who had a fear of flying or something like that jump out of a plane, they come back as completely different individuals. Can you imagine conquering your greatest fear, knowing that you are now able to conquer anything? Think about that, right? YouTube video. What if you got onto YouTube, you did it a couple times, you worked your way through it, you threw up a few times, it was all good, because we always throw up when we watch ourselves on YouTube, right? We don't want anybody to see it. And then you get to the place where you start to get into it, and it feels so good to get that off your shoulders, doesn't it? Right? And why do we have fears? Well, because we've either had past failures, beliefs of failures, programmed to be failure, all of those different things.
I have a weird fear of escalators. No idea why. I
Yeah.
freak out, have major anxiety.
What would it be worth to you? I mean, you've got a fear of escalators. What would it be worth to you? Imagine, just go, we're going to do a little bit of vision casting in the future. Imagine we did something wherever, and a month from now, 30 days from now, you were actually fearless on an escalator.
That'd be awesome. I've had that through my entire life.
And you could bounce around, you could jump on one, you could go, woohoo, escalator!
That's the only time I'll go up it is with my husband.
Right. Where else does the escalator show up in your life?
Yeah,
Where else do you fear things for no apparent reason? You see, it's a symbol for something in your life, right?
yeah, that's the thing. I'm still unknowing of
Yeah.
what that is.
And would you be willing to give it up? If you could replace it with something extremely powerful?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, power comes in letting go of these things. Huh. Who else has some other fears? Bob?
Well, I walked on fire.
Cool. What was that like?
It was crunchy. And I didn't burn myself, but I'm fearless as a result of it, but not stupid.
Right. Bingo. Not stupid, but fearless. And what was it like to actually deal with the whole process of saying to yourself, I'm going to walk on, and even though I see people walking across there, I realize that these are burning coals. What was that like mentally?
It was interesting because when they built the fire to walk on, we were standing outside, and my hair on my arms went. But I was first over, so it didn't make any difference. I wasn't going to wait for other people.
Yeah. See, there's so much that you learn going through those kinds of things, because you have to deal with everything inside you that your brain is screaming, this doesn't make logical sense. I understand that fire is hot, that people burn. I know I've seen the pictures of people that have burns. I know what it looks like. I know I'm going to recover, but yet I still saw somebody walk right across and have no injury. And that's what it's like when you're brave. You have to deal that way through. You have to go through courageous. You have to go through bravery. And fearless is not necessarily, getting to the place where there. You probably weren't fearless until you ended up on the other side. Right? You were very brave to go through and do it all and push through it, because you had to turn it all off mentally and emotionally. And then you got to the other side, and now you can claim fearless, which is really an exciting thought. Mastering of fear gives you the opportunity to get some, what I call energy, some breath, if you will. It wakes you up. If you're not sitting on the edge of your chair as a metaphor for your life, then what's happening is you're actually in mediocrity. You're sitting there going, yeah, oh yeah, cool, remote. Who stole the remote? Somebody hand it to me. I'm bored, silly. This is no fun. You have to get something that's going to make you wake up, something that's going to challenge you a little bit. Right? How many people here could actually see me not as a speaker? Like being very difficult and awkward as a speaker? Say yes.
Yes.
Right? It wasn't that long ago that I was extremely awkward as a speaker. Yeah. Yeah. You guys, if you get me up front here and you think I got it all put together, I remember not having it all together. I remember being in a corporate office. It was probably only 10 by 10, and there's 4 people in there, and I had my first opportunity to stand up and speak something that I read, and I read it wrong, and it wasn't good, and I could barely breathe, and I sat back down, and I said, oh God, that's over. It wasn't that long ago, right? So conquering fears allows you to stretch. It allows you to go to the next level. So which one of your fears would you be willing to commit to in the next 60 days? Who wants to claim one? Out loud in front of everybody else. So everybody can hold you accountable.
I've been struggling with the whole asking for reviews. And people keep saying, you got to get those on there. Got to get them on there.
Who's saying that
So
to you?
Watch your body language, folks. I've been struggling with reviews.
Exactly, I don't know.
I don't want to, and you're getting smaller by the minute. If you could shrink right down, you would, because it's awkward. Don't want to get the attention on me.
Yeah.
Right?
It's something that
Sorry, I didn't mean to cause you that.
No, this is her just
you
claiming
didn't.
it.
It's me.
Yeah. But our bodies are responding because our brain is telling us some story behind all that, right? And if you got through all that, what would it feel like?
Awesome. Yeah.
Don't want to give you the answer.
Yeah. She just wants to get in part of that. Who else has got another one? So good job.
Standing in my truth.
Standing in your truth.
Huge.
Right? And what would you gain? Like really gain? What does that mean?
What does it mean to me? Can I give you just a brief?
10 words or less.
Okay.
What's the journey here?
This is really. Oh God, I can't even say it out loud.
Yeah.
She needs to work on that.
Yeah. So you're not ready today to do it in front of everybody? Or would you like to, or do you want to do it in front of everybody?
Yeah.
Come on up here. Yep, just stand right beside me here. In this box is the box of total honesty and empowerment. So you're in the box of total honesty and empowerment. I want you just to relax and breathe it in. Just feel all that air going right inside of you and filling you up with truth. Okay, and you can feel the power rising. It's about up here now, it's coming up higher. And that's your energy, starting to go. And what do you want to speak truth to? What do you want to claim?
I want to claim my ability to talk about who I really am and what I really believe about life.
Okay, so I want you to sum that all up and say, I am.
Can I swear?
I am.
I am fucking awful.
How'd that feel?
A little bit scary, but these people are really safe. I can do
Oh yeah, now my story's going to come out. I can do that here, but I can't do it anywhere else. What's the story?
No, actually, I want you to know that you just gave me something because I wrote down something
You took
that I'm
something.
going to say.
You took something.
Because I took something from this. I am among friends. And I'm going to take that with me out there.
Tool. She just created a tool. Way to go. Congratulations. Way to go. Thank you. Wonderful. You see, we have all these resources around us. All of these resources are available for us. All we have to do is reach out and grab them. You know, standing in your truth, standing in your power, it's very, very important. Okay? So mastering a fear gives you lots of energy, gives you lots of breath to do what you need to do. So you owe it to yourself this year. If you want to have a different life, you need to master a fear. So Mary's going to master a fear. What are you going to do, Mary?
You're reading my head.
You have like the little bubble like you see in the cartoon, and it's above you and it's filling up with words. I just thought I'd let you speak it out loud.
Come on, Mary, you can do it.
You can do it, Mary.
Not here. She walks for me.
Mary's got a lot of courage. She's got something going on there. What's our last one? Well, the last one I'd like you to look at is this, is we need a bounce back plan, or what I call resilience plan. Why? Because you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to blow it. You're going to go down the hill. You're going to be at the bottom. You're going to be rolling around. You're going to be bleeding. You're going to be bruised. You're going to be damaged. You're going to be down and out. Your psychology is going to suck. And you're going to want to quit. Ta-da! And that is normal. It's what you do after you catch your breath that makes all the difference. Because there'll be a split second where you get to make a decision. And the decision is, do I carry on, get back up and do it all again, or do I turn around and quit? If you take any of the martial arts, one of the first things that they're going to teach you is the attitude. The second thing they're going to teach you is how to take a fall. think about that as a metaphor for business. Anybody get rejected? Right? When did we take rejection training?
Never.
Is it that where you get your business license?
I was a competitive gymnast, so.
You understand.
There's never a 10.
No.
So there's never a 10, so you're rejected all the time. And you have to do it thousands of times before you get reg once.
Exactly. So you have to have resilient skills to bounce back and keep your training going to go well in business. So you need to be able to train yourself in business effectively, and resilient skills make a big difference. One of the greatest compliments I ever received was a gentleman that I worked with and I have a lot of respect for, and he said to me that I was tenacious, mainly because I had never quit. He asked me, was it difficult? Yes. It's not all stars and roses. Do you know what I mean? Was it something that I planned it to be? No, I went on a journey that I wasn't expecting. You know, I thought this is where I would be going, and then all of a sudden I'm over here doing whatever, and I'm starting to evolve. Sometimes you start the journey and you don't even know where you're going. You think you're going some direction. Life has a different plan for you, right? You need to have resilient skills so you can bounce back. Otherwise, I would not be in a really great marriage right now if I didn't have resilient skills. You know, because my first marriage didn't go too well. It's kind of a mess. Yeah. And I wasn't really confident that I could carry on a decent relationship. And you bounce back and you turn around and you make some changes. Learn what you can from your skills and carry on. So what are we going to do for a resilience plan? Give me some ideas. What would keep you guys going?
Support group.
Support groups for sure, yes. And? Coach, yes. And?
Determination.
Determination will not work when you're down in the trench. You need to have something that'll help you because you're not going to be in your right mind. What else?
Clear vision.
Clear vision won't help you as much when you're in the trench. What else? You need an external stimuli. What else? External stimuli. You need something else. What else?
Well, like you said before, proof. Remember what you have accomplished.
Right? You will be able to go to that, but you need to have some outside support to get your resilient skills.
You need support.
You need support. We all need support. Anybody that thinks that they can do it by themselves in this North American culture, which is what we have, you know, I'm the Lone Ranger, I can do it all myself. It's the stupidest thing that I've ever seen in my life. Like, it doesn't work, right? You need strong people around you, a mastermind of some sort. I mean, I have other coaches that coach me. Lots of them. Right? Why? Because by myself, I'm in my head. You know, as my one coach said to me, he's a leadership coach, and he says to me, Rich, you probably already know this. We have conversation that starts every day that starts like that. You probably already know this. And I say the exact same thing back to him. Why? Because it's not that I don't see it, it's I can't see it because I'm in my situation. Right? And when you're down and out and you're up in the bottom and you're kind of, you know, all rolling around in the muck and the mire and the mud, and your head kind of sucks and your brain is thinking, you need somebody that can go, dude, seriously? Like, really? Sounds like you need something. Like, let me give you a quick kick, okay? Let me help you up here. I'm going to pull you up, dust you off, and smack you and tell you to go do it again. Right? Because it's not whether you're going to fail or not. The question is, how many times will you need to do it before you get really good at failing? Fail fast. Move on. Right? So that's bold. These are the 5 strategies. Dream big, get a dream, work on it, get it really rock solid. Make it so that you attach to something that really is emotionally good for you, gets the emotion going. Confidence, build it. What are we going to do there? This is a review. Who took notes?
50 things that you've accomplished.
50 things. Okay. How many people are going to commit to doing that, by the way? Okay. Determination?
Write a list of what you're tolerating.
Yeah, how many people would rather forget that one? How many people are really going to consider that?
You need to write on that one.
Yeah. Well, everything that you're tolerating would be good.
Oh, okay.
You can start with 1 or 2, but what happens is your brain starts to think that way. You'll start to identify 1 or 2, and then you go, why am I putting up with this? And you'll ask yourself some really intelligent questions, and you'll start to make changes in your life, right? Master your fear. How many people are going to take on something ostentatiously gross and disgusting this year? Right? These are the kinds of things you can share with your friends on Facebook or in your groups, and it really makes a difference. Resilience plan. Who are you going to get to help you out in this journey?
Partner.
What's that?
A partner.
A partner. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the journey to being bold is not a solo activity. It is not something we do together. It is not something that is not going to influence the people around you. It will make a radical difference. You will attract better clients. You'll attract better business. You'll get better resources. You're going to find that if you're bold, and go forward, people will look at you and be inspired by what you do. You don't have to have it all together. All right? My pleasure. Have a great day.